What's up, y'all? It's Dr. David Rhoiney. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. This is day 31 of my 31-day consistent posting to YouTube every day. I learned a lot over this month, and I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. We're growing the channel. We actually had a video go over 1,000 views yesterday, so that was pretty cool, man. Today, we're talking about day trading versus investing. So first off, if you're day trading, I just gotta tell you, fucking stop, right? The easiest way to blow up your money, blow up your account is through day trading. Whether you read a book like Market Wizards, which is pretty dope, right? It's a book where I believe back in like the early 90s, late 80s, Jack Schwager went and interviewed a bunch of like legendary traders. One was Paul Tudor Jones. There's a bunch of others in there that you can go through and you can see what their story is. One of the consistent things in there, it talks about how they basically started not really knowing what they're doing and then blew up their account multiple times. Personally, I don't like to lose money. I hate when I lose money. I wasn't born with money, so I really value keeping it in my account. So why would I go day trade? Same thing with you. If you are a busy professional, you do not have time to day trade, so you got to stop. The reality is you are going to continue to not as necessarily do as well, and with the rise of index funds and the power and the momentum that they have, you got to understand that you are basically picking up nickels in front of a steamroller, and eventually you're just going to get rolled over. Now, if you are going to day trade, you got to keep it to a small amount of your account where it's not going to actually influence or like have a negative outcome on your financial future. That's very important. I don't talk about specific investments on this channel on or my Substack, whatever, because that's not my lane. I can help you and help us all really understand what we need to think about as far as finances go, and really just allowing yourself to grow in your success, and along the way have the financial literacy that you need in order to be successful. Day trading is one of those things that I've watched people left and right, whether they think they're trading options. Like you see that book back there, Option Volatility and Pricing. That book is like the Bible, right? And I can tell you right now, you shouldn't be doing options if you don't have the time to really monitor these things. That is high pain, right? Or starting your own business. Those are better risks. Day trading, unfortunately, there are so many firms, and most of this stuff is computerized, where they are moving at a faster pace, right? They're able to see and close these arbitrages in the market. And if you don't know what I mean by arbitrage, it means a sort of mismatch pricing, or they see a flaw in the system and how it's progressing, and they can make money off of the changes that they see. Day trading really is not for everybody. Sure, there's going to be people, and you're going to hear some great stories of people who made a lot of money, and they might have some underlying talent that you just don't know about. The reality is the bulk of people who start day trading are going to lose their money. You are more than likely average. I hate to tell you that. You're likely going to lose your money. I'll lose my money, right? It's just a reality. The price of being a day trader, the price of being a trader is, one, being able to survive long enough to learn from your mistakes, because you will have them, right? And so the next thing you're going to have to realize is you're going to go through a lot of money trying to figure out how to trade a system. And once you figure out how to trade a system, you might be scarred emotionally, mentally, and you might not want to do it anymore. So I'll tell you, is your time better served day trading, or putting it in like your hard-earned time to work, running a business, putting in, investing in yourself and getting a additional educated degree or whatever, right? I went to medical school. That's how I leveraged my time, right? If I'd have known about finance, would I have become a trader? Maybe, but that's when I'm using other people's money, right? The thing about what we don't seem to understand as retail investors, as retail people, everyday people, is that professionals tend to use other people's money. They don't risk their money as much as you will do day trading, right? You save up 25,000 or whatever it is so that you don't get labeled a pattern day trader. And yes, you need $25,000 in your account before you get labeled a pattern day trader. And then you go at things the wrong way. So a lot of people get on Fidelity, or they get on, what is another one? Trading View, and all these different things, right? I don't even know all the platforms because it's ridiculous. Robinhood, and they try and trade their account, right? They try and get in and get out. And when you have under 25,000, you actually get labeled a pattern day trader, and that's actually really bad. The reality is a lot of traders use leverage, right? And they get their leverage through futures, through commodities, right? They invest on margin or trade on margin. That is like cooking a steak with gasoline. Steak is overrated, by the way. Sidebar. That's like cooking with gasoline. You wouldn't cook in your house with gasoline. You wouldn't cook with jet fuel. So stay out of the day trading realm. Now, investing is something totally different, right? You're investing in stuff for the long haul. You're thinking like an owner. You want to actually own things for a long period of time. Now, I didn't say you can't sell, right? Because there are times where you need to sell, and you're going to be like, well, I was told I should own things for a long period of time. If the stock, the company, the bond, whatever, goes up for some asinine reason, and you don't know why, and it's severely overpriced now, you should probably take some of that off the table. I learned my lesson in 2020 during the pandemic with a company called Cerence Technology. It's still one of my favorite companies. It was a spinoff from Nuance. Specifically, they do sort of automated tools and AI for your car. It's like a car assistant, and they started doing elevators and things of that sort. I really like technology. I really like this company, and I was in it. And then the pandemic pulled all of its revenues forward, and the company just shot up. I think at one point I was up like 6 or 7x. And I was saying in my head, like, this company's not worth that much. I can't believe this. And guess what? I held to the top and came crashing right back down. And now I'm bag holding. You don't want to be in that scenario. If that happens to you and you know in your gut that it's overpriced, take some risk off the table. But guess what? I didn't put everything in it. I didn't put all my eggs in one basket. There's a reason why that saying is because if you put everything in one company and that company goes belly up, so did your account. So did your future. You don't want to be in that scenario. So the next thing you want to do as an investor is you have to diversify. Diversify means you have a limited amount of risk. And by risk means I don't want to lose all my shit if this company goes belly up. So you need to diversify. As an investor, that means a lot of different things, right? Majority of what I do is in index funds, because guess what? I have a 403b, I have a retirement account, whether it's a 401k or whatever. Those, my company and everything, are not going to allow me to put my retirement in individual stocks. That didn't turn out too well for GM, Enron, right? When people put all their eggs in one basket, and that goes for your startup folks too. There was someone who posted that, hey, I have $5 million in NVIDIA stock, right? It started at around 2, and then all of a sudden with all this NVIDIA stuff, it went up to 5, and they're asking, should they take something off the table? The answer is hell yes. Take it off the damn table. That's way too much risk, right? The market gave you a gift. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Take it and run. Because once it starts crashing down, you can't get that 5 million back. The reality is once things starts crashing down, we get into this mindset that we think, oh, I just got to hold on and I can make it back. The reality is you ain't going to make it back. It's actually more, right? If you have 5 million and it goes down to 1, man, you got to go up tremendously in order to get back to that 5 million to break even. Sell, right? Cut your losses and admit your mistake and move on. You got to have a short memory with this stuff. As an investor, if you're given a gift by the stock going up tremendously, take something off the table. If you still want to be in that company, stay in it, but take those profits off the table. Don't allow that to sit there. Have a threshold when you're going to do that. And on the downside, if it is going the other way and you aren't comfortable with it going the other way, then guess what? You need to have a point at which you're willing to sell. I don't care if it was a company that you thought you were going to be long-term with. Again, when you're doing this, it should be narrowed down. the bulk of what you should do, 80%, 90% for some, 60% for others, the bulk of your returns should come from beta, which is the market risk. You're going to hear that a lot. Beta equals the market risk or the market return. Think of it as the index fund that you're in, okay? The S&P 500, the entire stock market, the Dow Jones, hopefully not the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, that is the index. That's the beta risk. You want to take that so that you're guaranteeing yourself a portion of your portfolio will get that return. Now, as Eric Balchunas says, you want to have a vanilla portfolio, and then you could add a little hot sauce in there, right? I don't know if vanilla and hot sauce goes together, but it is what it is. You can take a small amount, and that's okay if you want to go dabble in individual stocks. Preferably, I really like micro caps and small caps, right? Because there's room to grow. I feel like a lot of these companies stay in the sort of private arena way too long, and they take all the profits, and there's no really room to grow. And there's some wiggle room there, right? But you really have to be able to pick and choose and really like hit the nail on the head, right? I would have never picked Nvidia. It was nothing that I was looking at because it was too big of a company, but I can get exposure to it, and I have exposure to it because I invest in the tech sector through an ETF, right? Whatever you do, stay away from day trading. Be an investor and understand what you're investing in. Have majority of your portfolio in index funds because that is the safer thing to do. And believe me, as you go along in life, you got to be more safe because as you get older, if you were raised in poverty, everything you do is going to come with an outsized risk. What I tell people today is if I fail coming from where I came from, it has an asymmetrical outcome on the downside. There are other people who depend on me. I'm sure you have people that depend on you. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope everybody's doing well. This is day 31. We did it. We absolutely did it. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. This is Dr. David Rhoiney. Check out Diversify.com. Check out my Substack, certified.substack.com. And always remember to follow me on Twitter at FISURGI, FISURGI. Please hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate all y'all. Peace.